Well, the FBI is corrupt. And it's not just from the top down, as Joe Biden likes to say, the bottom up and the middle out, whatever that means. But there's simply no question about that, which is why we need to get a speaker over there on the Republican side and get to the bottom of this. But I want to talk about a couple other things related to this. And that's this. It's a very convenient foil for the Republican establishment and their Washington media and other media to keep blaming MAGA and Donald Trump for their losses. You know, Donald Trump hasn't been around forever. The Republican establishment has. McConnell, I think, has been in the Senate 36 or 38 years. He pulled the same stunt in 2010 when we won 63 House seats, but they didn't get enough seats in the Senate. Do you know who he blamed? Did he look in the mirror? He blamed the Tea Party. That's who he blamed. In 2006, when George Bush and our friend Karl Rove lost the Congress, which had been given to them, which they inherited, the Republican Congress, they didn't blame George Bush and Karl Rove. No, no, no. The problem with the Republican Party is it's not a conservative party. It's not a Reagan party. It's not a Trump party. It is a Washington-centric party. It is a bureaucratic party. What have the Republicans done so far? You know, with the filibuster rule, the minority in the Senate has a lot of power. We know that because when the Democrats are in the minority, they're able to gum up the works. What is it that McConnell wants to do? He wants to meet them on the 40-yard line. What do you mean meet them on the 40 line? I want to meet them at the hot dog stand and have them buy me a hot dog. I don't want to meet. And who's 40-yard line? So what have the Republicans in the Senate done so far? Have they laid out an agenda? You know, McConnell keeps going to the microphone. He keeps talking about anybody who talks about suspending the Constitution, talking about Trump. Well, the Democrats are constantly suspending the Constitution and ripping it and attacking it, and their judges are. McConnell, when's the last time you talked about separation of powers, limited government, equal protection, due process, probable cause for warrants? Our Constitution's already being suspended. The firewalls in the Constitution are already being breached by the Democrats. Why do you want to meet them on the 40-yard line? What are you going to do to give us our Constitution back? What are you going to do to protect separation of powers? What are you going to do to stop Biden's executive orders? What are you going to do to force Biden to execute our laws, like our immigration laws? You come to the microphone and you burp out words with those guys standing behind you like you're at a funeral procession. That doesn't fix a damn thing. You're always looking for foils. It reminds me of Biden. Inflation's up. Gasoline prices are up. Production is down. It's somebody else's fault. Well, when they lose their elections, which they control for the most part, they always blame the base or they always blame somebody else. It's really quite ridiculous. What happened to McCain? He lost. What happened to Romney? He lost. It took somebody like a Trump to win the presidency back, and it took Reagan to win 2 massive landslides. So what is the position of the Senate Republicans when it comes to all these issues? God knows there's a zillion of them, from the border to inflation to gasoline. Why don't they have a coherent, consistent legislative agenda? You had very bright people on earlier talking about why we lose these elections. Let me tell you why we lose these elections. It has nothing to do with Trump or has nothing to do with MAGA. It has nothing to do with all the rest. The greatest candidates, Fetterman's bumping into walls as I speak. He's not exactly a great candidate. Biden? Are you kidding me? Those aren't great candidates. They've destroyed our election process. The governors and the state legislatures need to get involved and fix it. That's what they did in Florida. It's simple. Fix it. You're not going to fix it? Then steal their system from them. Vote early like I do and do all the rest. That's fine. And what else do we need to do in this country? The reason people don't vote is they don't have a reason to vote. What was the Republican position on inflation? What were they going to do? I still don't know. What were they going to do to secure the border? Well, they're in the Senate now. What are they proposing? You know what they're proposing, Sean? Illegal immigration. Amnesty and citizenship for illegal immigrants. The border's wide open. Illegal immigrants are coming in, and the Republican solution is citizenship. And they're not going to stop with DACA. Schumer's already told us all legal aliens should be citizens. What else? They vote against religious freedom. It wasn't about marriage. They voted against religious freedom. They wouldn't adopt Mike Lee's amendment. Why? Why are they working with the Democrats on the most massive spending bill in modern American history? It may not happen. What is their agenda? Why do they want people to vote for them? Why don't they embrace conservative principles? Why don't they think about Reagan and the successes of Trump? Why? Because they're not conservative, and they don't believe in it. And as long as this goes on, we're going to lose elections. And finally, how did the Democrats beat us in redistricting in most of the country? Eric Holder's running around the country so proud of himself. You know why? The failure of the RNC, the failure of that little committee they put together with our friend Karl Rove. We are being outgunned by their lawyers who are going into these states and doing these various things. The Republican establishment, the Republican ruling class has failed us, and they have controlled the Congress for 30 and 40 years. Are we better off as a result of it? No, we're not. That's it.